around and find out. You can fuck around and find out.
You may make it through the snakes, snares and alligators, but once you get to the gate, you can't depend on your waiters, cause you'll be over your tater. I'm talking growing tomatoes, feeding the worms I fish with later. I'll have a fish stick plate over a 6-foot grave before I take a knee as our anthem plays. My hands on my heart, I stand on what I say, and my Second Amendment handles what I can. I ain't trying to be Billy Badass or talk shit, I'm just saying, there's the line, don't cross it. I got a Red Ryder gun when I was 3, so I don't run or hide from anything, bitch. I'm a red, white, and blue collar boy from the South. Hey, you can fuck around and find out.
Love my country, love my freedom. Fuck a welfare, now I don't need them. Shotgun lace from the woods to the plate. Ain't never went hungry, ain't never too late. So come around here, son, running your mouth. You can fuck around and find out.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. What is up? What is up? We are live. We're doing it live. Today is March 21st, 2025. Shout out to everybody catching this on the live. If you're catching this on the live, come on in. Come on in. If you're catching this on the replay, type in replay in the comments section as usual. And then also after the show, I'm going to place timestamps in the description down below so you can move forward, backwards to whatever topic or story you'd like to. Ideally, I want you to watch the whole thing, but hey, you know, I know we got stuff to do. What is up? What is up? Let's do a happy Friday, by the way. Happy Friday. Today is a great Friday. I see the chat already buzzing. Shout out to the chat. I want to give a huge shout out to the moderators in the chat. Moderators in the chat. What is up? What is up, mods? And I want to give a huge shout out to everybody catching this on the live, catching this on the live. We are leveling up today, guys. Hope everybody's doing amazing. What's up, my mind? Jason, Steph, what is up? What is up? Patrick, what's going on? Terry, hope you're doing amazing today. Who else we got up in here? Rob in the house, man. Hope you had a good first week at your new gig. Shout out to your new gig. Get that money, my man. Incoherent Clam. What is up? What is up? Risking my biscuit. Susan. Thank you so much. It says a like your opening song. Shout out to the Dilly Meme team for providing that. So shout out to Susan for the kudos. Boom, boom, boom. Who else we got? Sherry, what is going on? Windy, Oklahoma in the house. Windy, Oklahoma in the house, everybody. All right, all right. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hope everybody's doing good today. Yeah, excuse my absence yesterday. I had to take care of some business things yesterday, some business and some personal things that I could not rearrange, so I appreciate you guys. Those that saw the post on the Facebook post section, I just had to rearrange it. I will make sure that that doesn't happen again. I know some of you guys were upset, but because we got the greatest, we got the dopest chat. We have the hands down the best chat. And if you want to connect with these people outside of the chat, drop into the Discord group. It's in the description down below. You can check them out. Shout out to the new folks that joined the Discord group. Shout out to them. We do movie nights, fight nights, WWE stuff, all the good stuff. And then we also have an amazing community in there, hands down, one of the best communities. LJ, hi Tyson. What a beautiful day it is in Las Vegas. 100%. It is beautiful out today. I wore the sweater and I went into an office today because I had signed some documents and they had it like 80 degrees. I'm like, yo, they got the heater on. You didn't need the heater on. You just needed to open up some doors and open up some windows. Oh, man. But yeah, I will make sure 6 o'clock is the time on the dot, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST. and we'll move it if we need to. But I'm liking the 6. I'm liking the 6. So yeah, and don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. Yeah, I got some new emojis up in there too. We dropped some new emojis. I dropped some new emojis. All right. All right. So today we are going to drop into some headlines that kind of read a little bit more like satire if you look at them, but unfortunately it's real life. First off, we got President Donald Trump, number 47. He announced that he's personally going to pay for the stranded NASA astronauts regarding their unpaid overtime, because apparently when you're in space for 9 months, the previous administration said no OT. They said no OT. Intergalactic labor laws don't apply. So these guys were up in space for 9 months. They didn't receive any overtime. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Trump drops the hammer on the executive order to begin shutting down the Department of Education. You heard it right. The Department of Education is being shut down. Linda McMahon is leading the charge. And if you thought that was wild, wait until we talk about the WWE crossover here later. Okay? The DOJ suddenly dropped all the lawsuits against the states over the immigration laws. What changed? Maybe they realized losing in court repeatedly looks bad on their credibility when you're already hemorrhaging credibility faster than a Kamala Harris or Tim Walz debate, or a Joe Biden debate for that matter. Speaking of sense of losing control, inflation is still in clown territory. The Fed said they're blaming Donald Trump's tariffs, and they're screaming economic instability. And we're going to talk about the $5 billion in gold Trump cards that have already been sold in 1 week. You can't make it up. 1,000 people already said yes to this. Then we have Charlie Kirk versus Tim Walz. Timmy Tampon Tim. Timmy Tampon Tim. Timmy Tampon Tim Walz has escalated. The feud between Charlie Kirk and Tim Walz has escalated into a WWE level culture war. And I mean this literally because Kane, he's a wrestler from the WWE, challenged Tim Walz to a wrestling match. I don't know what timeline we're living in, but I'm kind of digging it. Over in Elon land, Tesla vandalisms continue. Trump's solution is ship all the thugs out, give them a 20-year sentence. Kudos, adios amigos. And if you thought the cartel activity couldn't get any darker, BBC just dropped an article. They just visited literal extermination sites in Mexico with ovens, bone fragments, and they're dubbing it a training camp. Yeah, a training camp where bodies disappear. It's crazy. Kamala Harris has been now declared as the runaway favorite for the Dems in 2028. I guess that's great news. The last thing that we need is another human word salad returning for a sequel that nobody asked for. Meanwhile, DoorDash is offering loans for fast food. You're not broke. You're just financially fluid. The last thing that I want to do is finance a $42 meal from Popeyes over 6 months. But hey, this is America, right? And last but not least, we have a MAGA hat-wearing man gets assaulted in NYC by somebody who screamed racist and then proved her point by literally attacking him. Astronauts going unpaid, schools being shut down, Teslas on fire, cartel ovens, gold cards, and political wrestling matches. Let's jump in. All right, before we jump into the first story, just got to remind you guys to smash that like button if you kindly would. Shout out to Stephanie for the super chat. Off the jump, let's go, Stephanie with the super chat. Shout out to Stephanie. Where's my chimes at? Where's my chimes? Ooh-wee. Let's go. Stephanie says, like, share, sub to our boy. Let's go. And then shout out to Patrick Kennedy for the one gifted membership. Patrick Kennedy in the house. Let's go. Leveling up. All right. So we're going to jump into this story here. We're going to move fairly quickly because we got some stuff to get into today. But don't forget to smash that like button if you kindly would. And again, if you're catching this on the replay, type in replay in the comment section down below. Trump says he'll cover the pay for these astronauts, all right? Trump says he'll cover the pay for astronauts who received no overtime pay after being stranded in space by the Biden administration, mind you, by the Biden administration for 9 months. Trump said, I'll pay for it out of my own pocket. You're not going to hear that on the news. You're not going to hear that. He was in the Oval Office today. President Trump promised on Friday to personally cover overtime for the astronauts, Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore, after they were stranded in space for 286 days. What? Stranded in space for 286 days. That is crazy, guys. That is absolutely crazy. Trump said, it's a good question. I'll have to pay for it out of my own pocket. This is what he said. Ducey asked him a question. Let's jump into that real quick.
The two astronauts that you just helped save from space, they didn't get any overtime pay for all that extra time. They got $5 a day per diem. Oh. For 286 days, that is $1,430 in extra pay. Is there anything the administration can do to get them, to make them whole?
Well, nobody's ever mentioned this to me. If I have to, I'll pay it out of my own pocket, okay? I'll get it for them.
Mr. President,
I'll take care of that. I like that. I think that's, I'll pay it right out of my, is that all? That's not a lot for what they had to go through. And I want to thank Elon Musk, by the way, because think if we don't have him. You know, there's only so long, even though they're in the capsule up there, that the body starts to deteriorate after 9 or 10 months and gets really bad after 14, 15 months with the bones and the blood and all the things that you've been reporting on very well. And if we don't have Elon, they could be up there a long time. Who else is going to get him? And I just want to thank him. He's going through a lot.
Now, who else was going to get him? The last person, the last people that wanted that we wanted to get these astronauts is Russia, because Russia could have got them, but they would have required a big old favor in return. They would have split the difference and said, "Hey, we're going to get them, but we need this." So Elon went up there and he rescued them. 286 days. That's insane. That is insane. And they were only supposed to be up there for a short period of time. Can you imagine what that does to your body? You haven't had gravity hit your body in forever. Your muscle deteriorates, bone deteriorates. There was an article that I was reading that said that it's like smoking a pack a day for, I don't remember the exact situation, but it's like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. If you look at Sunny, she had black hair when she went up into space, and then now she has a full head of gray hair. Crazy. What's up, Russell? Russell in the house. Russell says, I avoid buying stuff from Mexico and Canada. I'd rather buy stuff from El Salvador. Yeah, Patrick Kennedy says, woof. Man, OT 24/7, 288 days. That's a nice, that should be a nice check, right? What's up for the love of bags? Hopefully you're doing amazing today. Guess we all need a new president to get our astronauts back home. That's what she says. Yep. That's all we needed. We just needed a new president to get them back home. They were only paid for 40 hours a week, LJ writes. They were only paid 40 hours a week, per week. when they were working there 24/7. That's a shame. A shame on NASA. All this money goes to NASA. Can't even pay these astronauts that have been up there 24/7. Rob Shank says, space is fake. This is God's realm. Amen. Amen to God's realm for sure. Stephanie writes, literally forced labor, not even a mortgage payment. Yeah. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts. All right. We are jumping into Linda McMahon. Those of you that know Linda McMahon. I don't know if she's the ex. Is she still, my mind, is she still Vince McMahon's wife? I'm not 100% sure. But Vince McMahon, the former majority owner of the WWE, Linda McMahon, she worked for the previous administration. She says the Department of Education, she's setting her sights, and so is Trump, to set the sights on shutting the Department of Education down. I think this is a great thing. Bring education back to the states. Donald Trump took a major leap towards dismantling the Department of Education. Trump signed an executive order on Thursday, March 20th, to shut down the agency, which was one of his key campaign promises. Linda McMahon's not going to be in a job for a long time. she's already going to be out of a job. Oh man. She's already going to be out of a job. Trump continued to close federal agencies on his own because congressional approval is required. The order reads McMahon to take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the Department of Education and return education authorization to the states, while continuing to ensure the effectiveness and uninterrupted delivery of services, programs, and benefits to which Americans rely on. Shout out to Linda McMahon. There's a huge controversy going on, especially on the left, saying, a small majority of the funding from the Department of Education actually goes into the department, actually goes into education, specifically in California.
Executive order to dramatically increase production of critical minerals and rare earths. It's a big thing in this country. And as you know, we're also signing agreements in various locations to unlock rare earths. And
before we continue, my mind said it's complicated between Linda and Vince McMahon. Sounds like a Facebook thing that you write. In a relationship, it's complicated. Yeah. I'm sure it would have cost significantly a lot of money for Vince McMahon to get a divorce. So it's just better to stay together and keep the money, I guess. I don't know.
Minerals and lots of other things all over the world, but in particular, Ukraine. We're doing very well with regard to Ukraine and Russia. And one of the things we are doing is signing a deal very shortly with respect to rare earths with Ukraine, which they have tremendous value in rare earth, and we appreciate that. And we spoke yesterday with, as you know, President Putin and President Zelensky, and we would love to see that come to an end, and I think we're doing pretty well in that regard. So hopefully we can save thousands of people a week from dying. That's what it's all about. They're dying so unnecessarily, and I believe we'll get it done. We'll see what happens, but I believe we'll get it done. Today we take a very historic action that was 45 years in the making. In a few moments, I will sign an executive order to begin eliminating the Federal Department of Education once and for all. And it sounds strange, doesn't it? Department of Education, we're going to eliminate it. And everybody knows it's right. And the Democrats know it's right. And I hope they're going to be voting for it because ultimately it may come before them. But everybody knows it's right. And we have to get our children educated. We're We're not doing well with the world of education in this country, and we haven't for a long time. And we're pleased to be joined today by the woman who I chose because she's an extraordinary person, and hopefully she will be our last Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon. Linda, thank you. Thank you very much. That's another interesting statement. It's an interesting opening, right? But
I don't know what like I said in the opening, I don't know what timeline we're living in, but Linda McMahon will potentially be the last Secretary of the Department of Education. Terry had mentioned that they are legally separated for 3 years. Regarding Linda McMahon and Vince McMahon. Stephanie says, every time I see our president now, I think of Melania, what Melania would say. And Melania didn't pick his tie. Oh, man. Now California can make an education system that would make people move back to the state. Yep.
But it's true, and it's been amazing how popular this has been. I tell people that this is what I'm doing today, and they say, oh, it's about time. Everybody says it. Republicans and Democrats have said it. They're all saying it. Also with us are some terrific people. Governors Greg Abbott. Greg, thank you very much.
All right. So the Department of Education is currently getting dismantled. It is getting dismantled. Closing the Department of Education does not mean cutting off funding to those who depend on them. We will continue to support K-12 students with special needs, college student borrowers, and others who rely on essential programs. We're going to follow the law, eliminate the bureaucracy responsibly by working with Congress and state leaders to ensure lawful and orderly transition. This is a statement from Linda McMahon. I didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen. Oh, man. Russell said, we wouldn't actually have a country left if Democrats got 4 more years, especially under Kamala or Joe. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine what word salad Kamala? She would just be rolling over the same Obama bull crap, just rolling it over, taking money. It would be a mess. It would be an absolute crap show. Jason says, Cali needs to purge the woke out of Hollyweird first and work their way out. Mel Gibson is on that too. What's up, Clifton? My son doesn't get his time for his dyslexia, etc., because they all now spend on ESLA students. Yeah, and they had passed something, the No Child Left Behind. Now, I'm not sure if No Child Left Behind is still a thing. I believe I talked to a teacher about it, but they kind of do it and they kind of don't. English serving as another language. Thank you for the clarification. Appreciate that, Steph. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy that they would focus on English as another language versus American students with dyslexia. That's bananas. For the Love of Bag says, I'm in California, not everybody is crazy and woke, LOL. That's true. That is true. That is true. Predominantly in LA, right? My mind says, I wonder why the libs aren't going out together tonight to watch Snow White. Oh my gosh. They should. They should have a watch party with Snow White. Chuck Schumer at the Snow White premiere. Can you imagine that? What's up, Sandra? Oh, boy.
To sign an executive order tomorrow that will shut down the Department of Education. All of this comes on the heels of a drastic cut to the workforce at the department. NBC4's Conan Nolan has more on what this could mean and what could come next. Conan?
That's right, Colleen. For clarity, the lion's share of the California state budget goes to K through 12 education. Teachers' salaries and school districts are funded by the state of California. The federal Department of Education says it helps, but Donald Trump says it doesn't help enough and needs to go. The executive order to be signed tomorrow will direct the president's new Secretary of Education to take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the U.S. Department of Education, returning education authority to the states. A senior administration official saying that Title I, student loans, and programs with students with disabilities will not be touched.
None of that's going to fall through the cracks.
The action is not a surprise. Mr. Trump had campaigned on eliminating the Department of Education, saying the federal office needlessly interferes in what is a state and local responsibility while wasting taxpayer money that should go directly to school districts.
I'm saying, what do these people do? What do they do?
The Department of Education was established by the late former President Jimmy Carter in the 1970s. The department's forming had been a goal of the teachers' unions, which have been organizing demonstrations around the country opposing the department's elimination.
This agenda is about cutting funding and shipping it to private schools. It is about vouchers. Make no mistake about it.
But critics say achievement scores and the number of students testing at grade level for math, science, and reading have actually gone down since the Department of Education was first established.
These cuts, it's a drop in the bucket compared to the millions of people working in our education system, and that it's very unlikely that they're going to notice a difference in their child's school.
Because Congress established the department, Congress will need to vote before it is eliminated. But that may be meaningless if the administration decides not to fund it, which is apparently tomorrow's goal. Once again.
What's up, Catherine? You know, to any teachers in the chat, to any teachers in the live chat, shout out to the teachers in the live chat if you guys are teachers. You guys got a hard job. You guys have a hard job. I know in the state here in Nevada, teachers don't get paid much, and they got to deal with a lot. They have to deal with a lot of stuff. Catherine says, good, no more Democrat brainwashing schools rather than teaching them the Constitution. And actually teach them some curriculum instead of teaching them how to pass a test, right? That's all that me personally, that's all that I really learned in school is, there were subjects that I really enjoyed, but mostly it was to pass a particular test. Just knowing the answers on the test. So, yep. Clifton says, thank Lord for Donald Trump doing the right thing, but the good Lord won't let nothing go down. Terry says, my son stayed back a couple times, but he's made it up, and he'll be graduating this year. Kudos, Terry. Kudos. That's a huge accomplishment. And you know what? Honestly, secondary education in regards of college and things like that, I think it's a little overrated, me personally. I think something that's very underrated is trade schools. Trade schools are very underrated, at least in my personal opinion. Learn a good trade, get out there in the workforce, especially with the advancements of technology and AI and all this other stuff. We're going to need people that are skilled in particular trades. This is just my personal opinion. Russell says they have me shadow traced, so to speak, I'm highly censored. For the Love of Bag says, education needs a reboot. This is why I had my kids in private school, and we fought Newsom to keep our kids in school during COVID. Yes, I know a lot of people that transitioned to private schools, especially because all the bull crap that they were teaching kids in schools. They ended up going to either private schools or homeschools. I actually have a buddy that actually started a homeschool situation. Catherine says, I feel bad for good teachers. This is the way good teachers will be elevated to the activists, and the activists will be replaced. Yep. Most teachers have to be more, they have to, Risking My Biscuit says, most teachers have to be more of a parent to the kids than the parents themselves. Yep. Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then the parents don't take responsibility for their kids. They don't say, you know, they get the homework and all this other stuff, but then they don't follow through. And I get it. I get it if you're a single parent and, you know, it's tough. But it's still important to parent your kids. 100%. It is. You got to parent your kids. You got to teach kids good values, good morals, make good decisions. And to me, the education system is there to educate, not to brainwash like what they've been doing. Terry writes, right now he's juggling his high school senior year and a part-time job. Kudos. Stephanie writes, I just posted about trade schools about an hour ago, LOL. Let me make sure I got all these comments rocking. Cool. Oh, we got one more from the Department of Education with our man, Stephen Miller. Stephanie writes, BS, I'm a single parent, but the Common Core stuff, I tell him what to write. On the other sheet, we do it the right way, and he actually understands and gets it right. I agree. The Common Core math, I was so surprised when a friend of mine, she's a single parent as well, has 2 kids, and then they were doing the Common Core math stuff. This was probably back in 2017, 18, something like that. And that was my first introduction to Common Core math. And I'm like, what is this? They don't even teach the kids how to write cursive anymore. Yeah, Common Core math is garbage. What's up, Carly? Thanks for dropping in. Current parents out there, kudos. It is a difficult time. In private school, no Common Core math. Yeah, I don't get the Common Core math bullcrap. I don't get it. It takes you like 6 minutes to solve a problem. Oh, you put the 1 over here, you put the 2, you draw a graph, and then you do a pie chart and a line graph, and then you get the answer. No, you just multiply it. That's it. Or you just add it.
The Department of Education here in Washington, D.C. is overwhelmingly staffed by radical left Marxist bureaucrats who are in every way hostile to Western civilization, hostile to American interests, and hostile to our founding documents and culture. And so they are using their position and influence inside the Department of Education to try to force agendas like radical gender ideology, like critical race theory, like diversity, equity, and inclusion, and all kinds of anti-America curricula and policies on the American people, on our students, on our children. So it's taking away from parents the ability to control and direct the education of their own kids, of their own families. So what we're going to do under President Trump's leadership and direction is to return that authority to the greatest extent possible to the local level where parents can control outcomes, while at the same time making sure that no federal funds are used to support racism, to support gender ideology, or support other ideas and principles that are offensive to the American taxpayer.
Catherine writes, they don't teach the Constitution or real history. Exactly. They don't. They don't teach like practical life skills either, which is bananas to me. How to balance a checkbook, how to do things like that, get your credit score right. balance of P&L, personal P&L. They just teach you how to pass tests. Stephanie writes, her son knows long division before they taught it because I taught him a song and his brother got it, and then he got it. When she taught it, it was like, what the heck is up with this? That's funny. Yeah, multiplication table for the win. You guys remember that? The multiplication table where you write the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 across, and then all the way down 2. I remember that. Bring back the wooden pencils. Oh, what an excuse. What an excuse to get up to absorb time in the classroom. I would always go up, and we used to have pencil sharpeners on the wall. And I would go up and just like sharpen my pencil for 6 minutes. They don't teach kids life, but for prison now. New Zealand in the house. What is up? You guys remember those wooden pencil sharpeners? And then they went to electric pencil sharpeners. Those things were loud. Carly asked, when does a change of the Department of Education take place? He actually signed an executive order yesterday about it. Catherine writes, it's intentionally done so they never succeeded. Good news. It's about to change. Blue Neptune in the house. What is up? What is up? All right. Don't forget to smash that like button if you kindly would. It does help with the YouTube algorithms. All right. DOJ drops lawsuits against immigration. Finally. Jeez. They said, oh, we're losing so much. We're losing so much. DOJ drops lawsuits against 3 states surrounding immigration laws. U.S. Department of Justice has granted Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa permission to allow state and local enforcement to enforce immigration laws. This shift follows the return of President Donald Trump, number 47, into the White House, reversing the Biden's era efforts to block these measures. Let's go.
Days, the Department of Justice drops lawsuits against 3 states over immigration laws passed at the state level. Under Biden, federal prosecutors fought to block these laws from taking effect. Now, with Trump back in the White House, the legislation giving each respective state's police the power to arrest migrants living in the U.S. illegally can move forward. This week, the DOJ sent letters to Texas, Oklahoma, and Iowa, officially granting state police the ability to act in a federal capacity. In 2023, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed into law his own immigration enforcement measure, saying the Biden administration wasn't doing enough on the federal level. The law allows state and local police to arrest individuals they suspect of illegally crossing the Mexico-U.S. border as long as they have evidence. First offenses would be charged as a misdemeanor, with felony charges for repeated offenses. Senate Bill 4 also empowers judges to deport these individuals from the country, resulting in all charges against them being dropped.
There we go.
Since passage, the bill has been tied up in court. The Biden administration sued, and federal judge David Ezra blocked the law. Texas appealed to the appellate court, which temporarily paused Ezra's ruling. Biden officials and civil rights groups pushed the U.S. Supreme Court to keep the law blocked. The court issued an administrative stay, maintaining the freeze until a final decision in lower courts. A similar scenario unfolded in Oklahoma, where a court-ordered injunction blocked a state law that made it a felony for individuals to be in the state without legal immigration status.
Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Adios, amigos. Shout out for the love of bags for the super chat. Where's my chimes at? Here it is. Boom. Yeah. Kudos for the love of bags. She says, thank you for always bringing it. Really appreciate you for the love of bags. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to jump back into some of these comments here. Catherine says those electric pencil sharpeners, they definitely did eat the pencils, by the way. Oh man, I moved too far on the chat. Patrick Kennedy says, honestly, I don't trust the current batch of teachers. They're required to have college. Something. We have a generation raised by matrix. Can't even talk today, guys. I got Biden brain today. All right. Tom Homan, our man, Tom Homan, always in the news. Tom Homan. Shout out to Tom Homan, by the way. Aliens. Wow. Alien Enemies Act fight will be settled in court. This is what he had to say on Chris Cuomo. This is a word salad full of stuff. Gosh.
Tom Homan. And when he was asked about this, he said, I don't care what the judges think. I don't believe lawman's lawman. I know you respect judges and what they do. And we both know the Alien Enemies Act is a stretch, but I get the pressure you're under to find ways to get bad guys out of here faster. Am I right?
Look, let's get back to the statement that I don't care what the judges think. I said that. But it's not about the Alien Enemies Act. What I meant by that, we're going to keep arresting criminal aliens, we'll keep arresting Venezuelans, and we'll deport them either through Title 8 or another way. I'll wait till the DOJ and the courts fight this out as far as the Alien Enemies Act about moving, how far forward we go. But what my comment was, they're not going to stop deportation flights. You're not going to stop the arrest of gang members. You're not going to stop the arrest of TDA. We can hold TDAs up to 6 months before we remove them. Mm-hmm. So my comment there was, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We'll let DOJ and the courts fight this out, and we'll see where we go from there. But my comment was, we're not going to stop what we're doing. We're going to keep targeting the worst of the worst.
Get him out of here.
What I'm saying is this. Tom Homan respects the law and respects judges. True or false?
Of course. Oh, absolutely. I've been in law enforcement since 1983, for God's sakes, yes.
I know. That's why I'm saying it. That's why I was cleaning up what the context is of that quote. You're welcome. Now, in terms of what and who was on those flights, why won't you guys turn over the manifest and prove that these are bad guys, that they are who you say they are, not who their family members are saying that shouldn't have been swept up? They're not gangbangers.
Well, look, we know this. We know that, first of all, we got to figure, Alien Enemies Act is clear that through proclamation, the President of the United States invoked his authorities under Alien Enemies Act and made it happen. He has the total right to do it. It was a law passed by Congress, signed by a president. It was something that was used. As far as the flight itself, I think there's 263 people on that flight, 2 MS-13 special cases, 21 MS-13 gang members, and 240 trained agua. Now, the information I had is every one of those trained agua, every one of those Venezuelans was a member of that gang. And that's who was on that flight. And President Trump has designated, with the help of the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, Department of State, has designated Trained Agua as a terrorist organization. So that plane was full of terrorists and MS-13 gang members who are also designated terrorists. That was a plane load of terrorists being deported from the United States through the AEA.
I get it. Look, you're not here to argue the AEA. Let the lawyers take care of it. But that's not all the law qualifies, right? You have to have a declared war. There has to be an active conflict. There are other steps, which is why nobody's ever used this law this way.
Chris, it doesn't have to be.
Let them
try. It doesn't have to be declared war. The statute also says it's
right
a predatory incursion, in which the predatory incursion, though, and that is what occurred. We know that through numerous investigations that the TDA has infiltrated in part of the Maduro regime through the military and law enforcement. They're part of it. So they're not here by accident. They were sent by the regime to destabilize.
They were sent in here by the Biden administration. Open border policies destroyed cities. Get them out of here. These are bad dudes. These are bad dudes. Stephanie writes, that's the real border czar right there, 100%. Kamala Harris didn't even visit the border until she wanted to run for president. It was like 1,032 days before she visited the border. She didn't even know The border was there. But she did put her head down and get to work. Patrick Kennedy says the wall. Yep. What's up, Sue? Tom Homan. USA, America first, 100%. Patrick Kennedy writes, Tom is all out of bubble gum. Oh, man. Yeah. Catherine writes, Como's a dork. He clowned unvaccinated, and he's the only clown. Rob, these people are a joke. They're here illegally. They don't have any riff, 100%. Yeah, these judges, these radical judges trying to go to war, garbage. What's up, Michael? What is up, Michael? Michael in the house. Terry said, and when did she visit the border? It was all like a photo op. Yep, 100%. Kamala Harris just visited the border just to say, oh, I visited. You know, the borders are the walls, and the walls are the borders. Karoline Leavitt on the response. This is a small clip. Karoline Leavitt, she was asked about the Fed not moving rates up or down, and Jerome Powell talked about, hey, you know, the reason why we're not moving up and down because of the uncertainty with the Trump tariffs, so on and so forth. But here's what Karoline Leavitt had to say about this.
Yes. Thanks, Caroline. On the Federal Reserve, the president criticized the rate decision yesterday. Is he looking to replace members of the Federal Reserve Board like he did on the Federal Trade Commission?
Well, the president has appointed Mickey Bowman, as you know, to be the vice chair of the Federal Reserve. We're incredibly optimistic about her. She's on the ball, as the president says, and knows how to get things done. The president has every right to criticize the decision, and he's made it very clear that he believes in lower interest rates are going to help this country boom. And this administration is working on lowering the rate of inflation caused by the previous administration every day. Inflation is cooling. The numbers indicate that, and the president strongly believes in low interest rates, and I think the American public do too.
Donald Trump's been talking about the low interest rates and then about the Fed organization just in general. The Fed just obviously just prints money when they're a separate organization from the government, supposedly, right? But they're actually run by politicians. We already know that. So, or they're run by politicians' pocketbooks, if you would. And Donald Trump's been talking about this Fed situation since his first term. Jerome Powell blames the inflation relief delay on Trump tariffs. You know, I know Donald Trump and Jerome Powell necessarily don't get along. Because he's I think he's paid for it, you know?
The impact of President Trump's trade war is delaying the Federal Reserve's ability to bring down inflation.
We have tariffs coming in. We don't know how big, there's so many things we don't know.
What's up, Joe?
We kind of know there are going to be tariffs, and they tend to bring growth down. I do think with the arrival of the tariff inflation, further progress may be delayed.
The Federal Reserve is holding interest rates steady at around 4.5%, unchanged from its last rate cut in December. That means the cost to borrow money for things like auto loans and mortgages won't change.
Given where we are, we think our policy is in a good place to react to what comes, and we think that the right thing to do is to wait here for greater clarity about what the economy is doing.
The rate decision coming amid President Trump's announcement on tariffs that have sent the stock market into turmoil and triggered concerns about a possible recession. The president promising these tariffs will be good for Americans and the economy in the long term.
Yes.
And says more are coming.
On April 2nd, I call it the liberation of America. We've been the fat, dumb, foolish country that allowed everybody to rip us off.
When asked if the U.S. would see a recession in 2025, Trump projected confidence, saying the U.S. has the strongest economy in the world. But some are less confident.
The tariffs and the changing political atmosphere has just made it extremely disruptive you know, at a time when we're stressed anyway.
When financial advisors tell you, don't worry about it, just hang on, just hang on. Well, when you're 70 years old, how long do you have to wait?
President Trump is pushing to cut rates, posting on social media that the Fed would be better off cutting rates as U.S. tariffs start to transition their way into the economy.
They should listen. They should just listen. It's gonna be a little bumpy. I know I talked about this on a previous video. It's gonna be a little bumpy because we got some tariffs coming in, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good for you. Just like dissolving a relationship with a crazy person. Shout out to Jax for the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Nazra coming in fast. Shout out to Jax for the super chat. Thank you so much. Jax in the house. Mike Upton said he's being censored. Oh, man. You know how the YouTube is. YouTube be acting crazy sometimes. I don't know. Shout out to YouTube, though. Thank you, YouTube, for cultivating an amazing community, allowing us to cultivate an amazing community. But sometimes you be acting up. So the Fed rates generally they said that it's staying the same. Interest rates right now for homes I think are sitting at like 6.25%, 6.5%, something like that, which is decent. But it doesn't help when the prices of homes are so high. 6% doesn't help, you know, when the home prices are high. Inflation went up, appreciation went up in houses quite a bit. Pricing out a lot of individuals in the middle class looking to purchase property. So it's tough.
A factor in the Fed's higher inflation forecasts for this year, but their impact on inflation is tough to gauge. Trump responded to the Federal Reserve's announcement by calling on the independent central bank to cut interest rates. In a social media post, the president wrote, "The Fed would be much better off cutting rates as U.S. tariffs start to ease their way into the economy. Do the right thing." As more economists up their odds of a U.S. recession this year, though the Fed doesn't make recession forecasts, Powell did say that the risk remains relatively low, at least for now.
And it's interesting because the risk is relatively low, but that's what you're hearing from CNN, MSDNC, all these other places. Recession, Trump's bringing us into a recession, this, that, or the other thing. Terry says, first, Patrick says, every impatient person, think about the pain you would be in if Kamala was in charge. 100% inflation would still be skyrocketing. Appreciation for homes would still be skyrocketing. Borders would be open. We'd have the Tren de Aragua, MS-13 all over in these places. Sanctuary cities will be crazy. Just imagine that for a minute. If Kamala Harris actually won, thank God she didn't win, but we would be in a crap hole. Terry says 100% we would be completely up creek without a paddle. It would be bananas. Nope, better in the long run. These things took decades to wreck us. This was Stephanie said. Shout out to Stephanie. Nope, better in the long run. These things took decades to wreck us. It'll take time to repair us again. Catherine writes, if it wasn't for President Trump's administration, we'd be in the third world dictatorship drafted for Ukraine. Could you imagine that? Rob, honestly, yeah, just take a minute and just think, oh man, honestly, if you could imagine this country under Harris, it would be crazy. DEI off the chain, school system still broken, majority Americans still struggling, Thank God that she didn't win. It would be horrendous. For the Love of Bag says eggs and gas are down. Now what the Dems are crying about, everything. Tim Walz saying that he can kick Republican. Tim Walz is a loon. Egg prices are down, gas prices are down. I'm feeling more optimistic about the economy in general. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling optimistic about the economy. I see it. Rothschilds owns the Federal Reserve. Yep. If you look back with that Titanic situation, there's a whole situation unboxing there with the Rothschilds and all this other stuff with Titanic and the Federal Reserves. Check it out. I think that's a whole nother rabbit hole that we can go down to. Zelensky said he would have to die in Ukraine. You know, Kamala would draft patriots. Yes. Yeah, we would all be drafted. Shout out to GJ for the super chat. Where's my chimes at? Here it is. Boom. Shout out to GJ for the super chat. Thank you so much. Waltz, eye roll. Exactly. Oh, man. All right. We got Lutnick. Lutnick said that they sold 1,000 gold cards. If you remember a couple weeks ago, they were talking about these gold cards, these gold Visa cards, and they're $5 million a pop.
Great ideas. Can you tell us about the Trump card?
Sure. So,
whose idea was that, and how did that come about?
John Paulson had a call with Donald Trump and was talking to Donald Trump and was kicking around the idea of we should sell, right? Why do we give away visas? We should sell them. And they're talking about it. Donald Trump calls me, gets me on the phone, right? We all talk about it, right? And then we go from there. And then my job is to figure out, like I always figure out, how to do it. What's the path?
Do you have
Let's
a
go
path?
figure it out. Of course. About 2 weeks from today, it goes out. Okay? Elon's building me the software right now.
Yeah.
Right? And then out it goes. And by the way, yesterday I sold 1,000.
Oh, you did? I got a poly market I created on how many you guys going to sell this year. So
Cool.
Yeah, curious to see how many.
That's fantastic. Do you want to tell people just the rough?
Yeah, what are the
broad
terms
strokes?
on it? Yeah.
So if you're a U.S. citizen, you pay global tax.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're not going to bring in outsiders going to come in to pay global tax. So if you have a green card, which used to be a green card, now gold card, you're a permanent resident of America. You can be a citizen, but you don't have to be. And none of them are going to choose to be. What they're going to do is they're going to have the right to be in America. They pay $5 million, and they have the right to be in America. They have the right to be in America. As long as they're good person.
He sold 1,000 gold cards at $5 million a piece. We are eliminating that debt. We are eliminating the debt. Crazy. It's awesome. It is absolutely amazing. Before we jump into this next topic with Charlie Kirk, Tim Walz situation and Kane, I want to let you know that I'm going to be doing a giveaway here for this particular video. You can win some merch. You can win a piece of merch. All you need to do is just type in giveaway in the comment section. We'll I'll throw it in a randomizer and randomly select the winner. I'll let this roll for today and then pick something on Sunday. And then on Monday, I'll announce the winner. So all you need to do is just type in giveaway in the comment section down below. You can win a piece of merch, show some support. Again, all you need to do, this isn't affiliated. Oh, I got to do the disclaimer. It's not affiliated with YouTube, randomized. What else? All you need to do to enter to win, it's free to enter the win. All you need to do is just type in giveaway in the comment section and a disclaimer. So just type in the word giveaway at the bottom and I'll be giving away a piece of free merch of your choosing, shipped directly to you. You don't have to pay for anything. So just type in giveaway down at the in the comment section down below. All right. Where was I at? We got Lutnick. Okay, we got Tim Walz. Timmy Tampon Tim. Timmy Tampon Tim. A couple days ago, he said some crazy stuff. He said, "Oh, I can literally kick all their butts." And then he's out here doing town halls, trying to get support to run for a potential president candidacy. I see AOC and Bernie Sanders. That's a weird couple doing shenanigans together. That might be the ticket. But Tim Walz says he wants to run too.
Founder Charlie Kirk is here. All right. How much longer does Chuck Schumer have, Charlie?
Oh, boy, that's a good question. I hope a lot longer because he keeps on losing to Trump. Yeah. He's been great for us. Everything that President Trump's been asking for, this guy doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't know how to stand up against it. And the Democrats, look, it's so performative. They're shrieking. It's kind of part of their whole shtick. They're not used to having these kind of inter-party fights. For the last couple of years, you know what's always kept them together? Opposition to Donald Trump. That is no longer sufficient. It's no longer enough just to say that we are against Trump. President Trump is in the masterclass best form we've ever seen him. He's playing offense. He's operating with precision. His team is doing a phenomenal job. And Chuck Schumer doesn't even know how to deal with his own Democrat base. That was a phenomenal open, Jesse. And the one thing that Democrats don't mention, and Seth Moulton almost talked about it, almost is maybe there's something wrong with the stated core of how masculine he is, trying to not even be able to load a shotgun or fix a truck. I'll tell you one thing. The most masculine thing that someone can do in America today is stand up for women that are not able to stand up for themselves.
Right.
So while Tim Walz is going on Gavin Newsom's podcast, attacking me, by the way, saying that I'm a bad guy, well, I'm sorry, Governor Walz. One thing that we don't have in common is, unlike you in Minnesota, I, every single day, am actually fighting for female privacy in locker rooms and that women's sports will not have men in them. Real men stand up for women when they're not able to stand up for themselves.
You know, I've seen Charlie throw a football. You have an arm. And Coach Walz, he talks about how much he loves football. I've never seen him throw a football.
Tim Walz likes Madden football, video game football. Tim Walz isn't, they put him on the ticket because they were like, oh, he's a masculine man. He's not masculine at all. Patrick Kennedy says, where's the merch link store? It's Patrick Kennedy. It's actually in the description link down below. You can check out the merch link down below. Tampon Tim is a certified piece of work. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Oh, man. Timmy Tampon Walz. Trying to stay relevant.
Kick most of their ass. I do think that if they want to do it. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here, type of thing.
After Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said that about Trump supporters on California Governor Gavin Newsom's podcast this week, WWE legend Kane is challenging Walz to a wrestling match. Kane, whose real name is Glenn Jacobs, is now the Republican mayor of Knox County in Tennessee, and asked Walz to step into the ring with a post to X Thursday saying, "All joking aside, Governor Tim Walz, let's put our money where our mouth is in a charity wrestling match. We'll split the gate 50-50 between our chosen organizations. I'll kick things off myself with a $10,000 donation. What do you say?" Florida Governor Ron DeSantis offered to host the wrestling match in his state, saying in a post to X, "Florida can serve as the neutral site host. We've got a lot of great spots and a lot of wrestling fans." Jacobs, who once partnered with The Undertaker in the WWE, forming the Brothers of Destruction duo, made a video on TikTok in October supporting President Trump ahead of the election.
Choose wisely. The nation depends on it.
And that should be an easy choice.
Walz has not yet responded to the offer from Jacobs, whose bio on X reads, "I used to beat up people for a living. Now..."
Oh, I cannot imagine Tim Walz in a wrestling match. That I would watch it though. WWE legend Kane, he's now the mayor of Knox County, Glenn Jacobs, challenged Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to a charity wrestling match. I would pay to see it. I would pay to see it. Let's get ready to rumble. Oh, that would be hilarious to see him get body slammed. I would love it. Oh, wow. Glenn Jacobs, Kane from the WWE, all joking aside, let's put our money where our mouth is. And then he did this little situation here. Glenn Jacobs hasn't wrestled in a while, but I think he could still beat Tim Walz behind. Yeah, they can make a lot of money out of that. Stacey, all right, so you know how much money they could make off of it? Yeah, I think people would pay to see it. People would pay just to see Tim Walz get body slammed. I would. Trump responds to claims that tampon Tim Walz could kick Trump supporters' asses.
Quote from Tim Walz, "I think I could kick most of their ass."
Oh boy, he'd be in trouble.
Is there any way to know?
Well, he's a loser. Yeah, I guess a loser. He lost an election. He played a part. You know, usually a vice president doesn't play a part, they say. I think Tim played a part. I think he was so bad that he hurt her. But she hurt herself, and Joe hurt them both. They didn't have a great group, but I would probably put him at the bottom of the group.
Have you heard that Biden wants to get back involved for?
Yeah, that was the other thing too. Ducey mentioned that at the end of that clip. Biden wants to potentially get involved. I don't know. In regards of re-entering politics, Biden is cognitively gone. This guy needs to go somewhere. But in regards to Tim Walz and Kane, I would pay to see it. Terry says, I would love to see him. I would love to see Kane give Tim Walz tombstone pile driver. 100%. Patrick Kennedy says he's a loser. That's what Donald Trump says. He's a loser. He is. Yeah, get the Undertaker out there too. Stephanie writes, dude doesn't even have a bank account. Yeah, he doesn't even own a home. He's the loser, right? It's hilarious. And, you know, when CNN starts calling Tim Walz a loser or a bozo, it is official. It's official, like a ref with the whistle.
Walz is a complete moron to me. I have to be very honest, and I'm not surprised why the American people did not choose him. Nothing against the vice president. With that said, Elon Musk employs 80,000+ Americans. Most of them are working class people. The implications of the stock, let's say this were to continue on for another year, so I'm just throwing out a hypothetical. Will the company at some point have to decrease its workplace? Most of those people, I would imagine, probably vote for Democrats, at least some of them. So now you're impacting people who likely share your worldview because you disagree with Elon Musk. Don't buy the car. Just like those guys are saying, let's protest Anheuser-Busch, et cetera. We're just not going to buy their beer. I'm okay with that. But destroying public property, there is...
Classic.
Look, Tim Walz is a complete moron to me.
When CNN calls Tim Walz a complete moron, it has to be facts. It absolutely has to be facts. This leads us into some more Tesla stuff. People vandalizing, people throwing feces on cars and all this other stuff. Where is it at? I don't have it. Okay. So this is interesting. Trump floats sending Tesla trash thugs to serve 20 years in prison. Good. Sentence in El Salvador. El Salvador might be a little much, but 20 years, 100%. Trump suggests on Friday that 3 Americans hit federal charges for allegedly vandalizing, not allegedly, but for the YouTube purposes, we got to say allegedly vandalizing Tesla vehicles and charging stations should serve 20 years in prison.
Today in the vandalism incidents at multiple Tesla properties across the country. 3 people, including one from Oregon, now face severe charges in what Attorney General Pam Bondi calls, quote, a wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla. Today's announcement did not specify what federal charges were added. It does state each defendant could spend between 5 and 20 years in prison if found guilty.
Say that again.
Each defendant could spend between
5 and 20 years in prison if found guilty.
Think about that. We do know 41-year-old Adam Lansky here in Oregon is charged with illegally possessing an unregistered destructive device after he allegedly threw a Molotov cocktail, or more than one of those actually, at the Salem Tesla dealership.
20 years in prison.
I did some homework for this segment, and I want to start someplace that no one's talking about. What happens if there's someone in one of these cars they blow up? That can happen. That becomes murder, or worse, terrorism plus. And I know that on January 20th, the president signed into law, through an executive order, restoring the death penalty. Do you think this sort of thing, and I hate to think it, people leave their children and pets in cars. I mean, you don't know. This is deadly, dangerous stuff these liberal protesters are playing with.
Yes, it is, Harris. And what I can tell you is that President Trump condemns this violence, and he is determined to restore law and order in our country, and he will ensure that the harshest penalties are pursued for those who are engaging in this vicious violence that we have seen targeted at this American company, Tesla dealerships, Tesla employees, and also innocent Americans who have chosen to drive these vehicles. Many of them, ironically, are likely Democrats. If, as you so eloquently pointed out, there is a major double standard here. The Democrats used to be the greatest cheerleaders for electric vehicles and for Tesla, the company, until Elon Musk decided to support and vote for Donald Trump. So the Trump derangement syndrome from the left is on true display with these attacks. It is getting dangerous, and the White House wholeheartedly condemns it. And we applaud Attorney General Pam Bondi for investigating these acts as domestic terrorism, because that is what they are.
Well,
I agree, especially personal property. And you guys already know my stance on this. Yo, if somebody's messing with my vehicle, they're going to get a whoop down for sure. And yeah, for sure. And imagine that. Imagine if somebody left their kid in their car or their dog in their car. Oh, boy. If you did something to my dog, Rob says, I agree, 20-year minimum. Maybe others will think about what they're doing. Yep. I agree with that. For the Love of Bag says, I wish Trump would order martial law on these Teslas and arrest them all. I don't know if they're getting close to the martial law, but they're getting, if somebody gets 20 years, that's going to set a precedent for anybody that wants to vandalize any other Tesla vehicles. What a bunch of retards. Yep. What's up, Airdrie? All right, so this next one's a little crazy. This next one's crazy. Ovens bone fragments, BBC visits Mexican cartel extermination site. Then we're going to jump into Oscar Blue, the gates. Following a tip-off of possible location of mass graves in activist groups, relatives of Mexico, thousands of people have disappeared, went to the ranch hoping to find some signs of their missing loved ones. This is absolutely sad. I just got the chills. What they found was far worse: 200 pairs of shoes, hundreds of items of clothing, scores of suitcases, rucksacks, discarded after the owners themselves were apparently disposed of. Wow, that escalated quickly. Yikes. Let me jump into the super chat real quick. Shout out to GJ for the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me get my chimes rocking, and then we'll jump into this. What Oscar Blue had to say about this here. Let me make sure I got everybody. Cool. Yeah, that escalated quickly. I read that, and the energy just kind of dropped down a little bit. That was, oh, man.
Came out and said that these were not extermination camps, that they were actually training camps where the Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación was kidnapping people and forcing them to train into be sicarios. So basically what they're saying is that people were getting killed, people were getting assassinated, they were kidnapping them, they were raping them, abusing them, and they were burning them alive possibly, or they were burning them in these crematories and then eliminating the evidence because there was a lot of bone debris that they found on this mass graves that they found on this territory, but they don't qualify them as they were extermination camps. They say that they were training camps from the cartel, and these training camps, they were actually being used to train the people that they were kidnapped to be sicarios, but they were not extermination camps, by the way. We as Mexicans, we're not shocked. The only bad thing is that it is repetitive, and the sad thing about it is that we need to acknowledge that we live in a narco government. It is a reality. Fiscal General of the Republic.
That's crazy. It's super sad. Super sad. Oh, man, that's heart-wrenching. They were burning folks there. Yikes. Russell says cartel, Holocaust, like crimes. Yeah. Catherine, pure evil. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let me jump back into this imagery here. That's gnarly. Yeah, this is super sad. Bunch of shoes, suitcases, and stuff like that. It's crazy. People are looking for their family members, and they're gone, you know? Oh. Mexico, please let us use our Predator drones to help you fix the problem. 100. Yep. Yeah, Catherine, Mexico wants President Trump administration to take him out, which will create some controversy. That'll create some rips, You know, because some of them are already infiltrated in the United States. We saw that with the Tren de Aragua. Yeah, Stacey R says, send in prayers to them. Yep. For the love of bags, this could happen here if Kamala would have won. Super sad. Super sad. Our prayers go out to the family members there. Before we jump into this next one, don't forget to smash that like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithms. Let's liven it up a little bit. Wow, I don't know how to transition. Kamala Harris picked as Democrat Runaway 2028 favorite to poll. Democrats overwhelming select former Vice President Kamala Harris in their preferred candidate. This is what would happen if Kamala Harris, dude, listen to her. This woman is the favorite of the 2028 primary.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
What?
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
This woman's insane. Patrick Kennedy says, man, this gives me some emotions I had after watching Sound of Freedom. Yep. For the love of bags, she's dumb. Yeah, Terry, reduce population. Did you guys hear that? Reduce population so more kids can drink clean water. That woman don't know what she's saying. Absolutely. God, this woman is dumb. That's what Rob says. Reduce population. Oops. Oops. Yeah, there won't be any children. California claims to be environmental, and they can't even manage their water. Yep. Catherine, nail it on the head. She only won the states that didn't have voter ID. I don't want you guys to lose any more brain cells off of this one. Listen to this. All right, we're going to transition. Uber or DoorDash is now offering loans for fast food deliveries. What?
Your meal over 4 easy payments? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
The answer to your question, of course, is yes.
Yes.
All of the things you just described is a big part of it.
It is.
Now, I mean, like, because I've seen that option when you pay for stuff online, Klarna, which I guess I've never used it, but you can, I guess, just divide whatever payment you're making into 4 easy installments, which is not, I mean, I guess that much different than putting it on a credit card or, something like that if you're not paying it off every month. And I think, I don't know what the fees are and everything else. It's just a weird, that's supposed to be that's a purchase you have the money for. When you're buying DoorDash, like there's a little bit of a luxury there, right? Like someone's dropping it off at your house, you're buying it. There's all sorts of upcharges in it. I mean,
that's not an economical way to eat, but
right.
That's bananas to me. You already, Russell hit it on the head here. No way. That would be the definition of predatorial lending, 100%. I also think reverse mortgages are predatorial lending as well, but that's a whole nother subject. But yes, this is predatorial lending. Hey, you're already getting jacked up the back for the cost of Uber Eats and DoorDash. A sandwich from Uber Eats or DoorDash is like $20. And then they're like, 6 easy payments, 20% interest for your sandwich. Listen, Glenn Beck hit it on the head here. It's already a luxury to order Uber Eats and DoorDash. You shouldn't be putting it on a payment plan. You're going to be spending $78 for a bucket of fried chicken. Yeah, I need a loan for food. Perfect. Yeah, you will own nothing and be happy. That's what Patrick Kennedy writes. Yeah. It's crazy. Rob says we don't have any food delivery services where I live. Good. You don't need them. I think they're making a crap ton of money, but and people are gonna use this. People are gonna use this. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, I can defer my bucket of fried. I don't want to continue to use bucket of fried chicken, but we can defer our order from Panda Express for 6 months, 2 months interest free, and then it all of a sudden goes to 30% interest. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a 2 orange chicken and a chow mein for $60. I've used Klarna for my son's school clothes. It was a $2 fee split, 4 payments. That's not too bad. I wonder what it would be for DoorDash. Terry says, I used to deliver Uber Eats, and the delivery charge alone was outrageous. Yep. No food service in my town, Janice says. Bucket of fried chicken is a perfectly good example. Oh, man. All right. We are jumping in to this story here. Man wearing a MAGA hat is attacked in NYC, in New York City. In New York. Man wearing a MAGA hat attacked in New York subway by a woman calling him racist. The video of the subway has been absolutely going hot balls viral on YouTube. I don't know where I came up with that analogy, but we're rolling with it. A video from a New York subway shows a woman attacking a man with a red MAGA hat after allegedly calling him racist. She chases him down the platform. Here we go. Here's the clip.
How can I be racist? If you fucking voted for Trump, you're racist. I hope you enjoy the hat.
It was at this moment that she knew. She fucked up.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can talk.
Oh, man. They are making memes out of this one. Oh, man. Rob says, now that's what I call a happy ending. Yep. Karma showed up instantly. That's what Stacy writes. Russell, karma. I didn't expect I believe I could fly. That was a good one. I got to watch that again. That was hilarious.
She knew. She fucked up.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch.
Oh, that's what you get. That's what you get. That's a good flop. That is a good one. Oh, man. That is a gnarly flop. Yikes. Anyway, I'll place the description of this, or I'll place a link for this video in the description down below after I get off of this. Oh, man. Let me make sure I got all the comments. Bop. You pick the amount if it's a gift card, but yeah, it cost me $2 and they auto draft biweekly. Came in clutch. Oh, that's awesome. With Klarna. I think they have that option on Amazon too. That's awesome. Would you do it for food delivery though? Would you do monthly payments on the food delivery? I need this made into a short so it loops. Oh, yeah, I'll place it in the description after I get off of this. This is funny. But wasn't there a young man violently assaulted in 2020 for wearing a MAGA hat? Yep. Mm-hmm. She did get face smashed. Yeah, it's a gnarly fall. Yeah, Terry writes, absolutely not. If I can't afford fast food, I don't need it. Yeah. Stephanie writes, I'm not silly, but I'm silly, but not stupid, Tyson. LOL. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Yeah, if you can't afford fast food, or, if it's not in your budget to get fast food, you don't need to be putting it on 6 bi-weekly payments or whatever it is to get the fast food. This is my personal opinion. Yeah. Maybe make something at home. It's crazy. I went and I got some coffee today from a local coffee shop because I had a meeting this morning. And I was like, $6 for a coffee? It was an Americano with 4 shots. And I'm like, oh my gosh, $6. I can make this for 75 cents at the house. Why am I paying $6 for this coffee? But yeah, that was a decision immediately regretted after I paid. I'm all about the budget, man. Pavement to the face. Make collard greens in the bathtub. Very economical. Or get a grocery store gift card for $100. You'll pay $25 that day and $2 charge. That's solid too. Yeah, Airdrie, I think it's either going to take advantage of people that are drunk or that are high, right? People that are high, they're going to be like, oh, let's just order some, I don't know, Subs or Panda Express or whatever. Yeah, cool. Let's just charge it 6 months. It'll just come out of my account every 6 months. It is predatory lending for sure. The economists of these prices is getting wild. Workers need more money to pay. Absolutely. 100%. Cool. I'm going to go through the super chats real quick just to make sure that I got everybody. Want to give a huge shout out to the super chats. Excuse me. Patrick Kennedy for gifting a membership. Shout out to Patrick Kennedy for gifting a membership. Thank you so much. Stephanie, thank you so much for the super chat. Like and share, sub to our boy, USA. Let's go. Thank you. Shout out to for the love of bags for the super chat. Thank you for always bringing it. I appreciate you. Thank you. Jax, Nezra's coming in fast. Thank you for the super chat. GJ for the super chat. Thank you. And thank you again for the super chat. 5-year and 20 Kane ONG. Let's go. I want to give a huge shout out to the moderators in the chat. Where's my clapper? Here it is right here. Shout out to the moderators in the chat, and then shout out to everybody joining us on the live chat. Really appreciate you guys. And I got to play this. Sorry.
I'm going to come. Oh.
I'm sorry. Oh, man. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome with the moderators. This wouldn't be possible. And then also with the chat, you guys are the best co-hosts around, period, end of story. And this chat is the best chat on YouTube, hands down. And if you want to connect with the individuals in the chat outside of the channel, outside of the live chat, you can tap into the Discord group. The Discord group is in the description down below. And then also don't forget about the giveaway. Just type in giveaway to win a free item of merch. I'll be announcing the winner on Monday at 6 p.m. So shout out to you guys. Let me just make sure that I got everybody. Stephanie says, y'all rock. Yeah, the moderators are the best. Moderators and you guys in the chat are the best. All right, guys, I am going to jump on out of here. I want to give a huge shout out again to everybody for the super chat, for the chat in general. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to, do a super chat or anything like that. The only thing that I do ask is simply just smash the like button if you kindly would. It does help with the YouTube algorithms. Really, really appreciate you. Catherine writes, you guys rock. Have a great night. See you soon. Stacy, have a great night. Awesome, awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to jump on out of here. Thank you guys for spending your Friday night with me. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I really, really hope you do. And I'll catch you on Monday, 6 p.m. PST. Till then, smash the like button, share, subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.